following program is brought to you in living color on NBC.
This is TV3 KARD Television, Wichita, Kansas.
Well, almost live and nearly from Wichita, it's conversational shaving with me and Sarge. Isn't that right, Sarge? Well, hello, how are you? I've already prepped my face with the Taylor of Old Bond Street Chamomile Shave Oil, right there. And my razor is going to be this two-piece adjustable Yaqi the Final Cut razor. And I'm going to start out at least on the number 4 setting. I don't know if you can see it there, but maybe you can see the little red dot. It's on the number 4. And let's see, this goes up to 6. So, and it might go a little bit past 6, I'm not sure. But going to be using that. In there on its third use will be one of these London Bridge blades. And my soap is going to be this Seaforth Fleur de France soap. And I've already lathered up my brush, which is the Simpson T-3 Trafalgar brush with the Sovereign synthetic knot. And I'm going to run a little bit of hot water here. I feel exhausted for some reason. And that's plenty of hot water. I just want to dip the very tip of this in there in case it's too pasty of a lather on the brush. I'm going to try to get a lather started on my face here. I hope you're all doing well out there. And I hope you have a good and safe week. It's just the start of the calendar week, I guess. Not the work week, but the calendar week. It's Sunday, or will be by the time you see this. Well, this lovely scent on this soap. A little bit cologne-y, light, powdery kind of like a fancy soap or talc. A scent strength of about 3 out of 10 right now. Let's see if it builds any now that it's on my face. Excuse me, I'm going to wipe my hand off here. And now I'm going to wet the razor. And we'll begin pass number 1, which will be with the grain. Here we go. Yaqi the Final Cut razor, London Bridge blade on its third use. Adjustable razor on setting 4 out of 6 marked possible settings. And this dial doesn't click, so it's a smooth adjustment there. But I have the little red dot on the number 4 lined up as close as I can get it. Let me rinse the razor. And continuing on here. What's new in everybody's life out there? Let me know in the comments. Anything interesting going on with you personally? Excuse me. My garden continues to grow. It's almost spring now, officially almost. It's already meteorological spring here in this hemisphere, the northern hemisphere. Okay, rinse time. Onto the neck. Whether it needed it or not, I lathered the brush for a full minute, and while I was doing that and getting everything set up for the shave, oh, the cat wants out, excuse me. Anyway, while I was getting the shave prepared and lathering the brush, I should say, I was also letting that shave oil soak in. It's a good idea, and I found this out from, I always forget the man's name, and I've said this before, but the man's name that does Friendship Shaving, does that channel, and there's a Facebook group of the same name, Shaving Group, which I don't know if he started it or if one of his fans did, but yeah, it was something he said often, I think. He would, when he used a pre-shave oil, which was often, he would talk to us a little bit and say, let's let the oil, I forget exactly how I put it, basically said let it sink in. I used to put shaving oil on my face and immediately start lathering and shaving off camera, usually, sometimes on camera, and that didn't work out too well. You gotta let the shaving oil sink in, or then it'll try to mix with the soap and mess up your lather. I'll be right back, and we'll go across the grain, pass number 2, across the grain. Okay, I'm going to keep this on setting 4, but for the next pass I might lower it a setting down to 3, but still on 4 right now. Let's go across the grain. Here we go. As long as I remember to use a light touch, the setting 4 is good right now. We got to be careful though, because I make mistakes and I don't want to nick or cut myself. We'll move over here, flip the razor over, use the other side of the blade before we rinse the razor. Okay, let's rinse the razor. Okay, onto the chin here. Blade is still pretty sharp for its third use. Some blades are good that way. Your mileage may vary, of course. Okay, rinse time again. Let's see, I might have given myself a little weeper there, possibly. And I feel some irritation on my neck, so I've got to be very careful. I'm using what, for me, is kind of a high setting. I don't think I would ever do this with a feather blade. Then again, I don't know. I guess I'll try anything once and twice if I like it. Gotta be careful. I could have already nicked myself. It's hard to say. I don't know if it's a flap of skin. It's not a pimple or anything like that, or a mole. There is something there though. Well, bigger than microscopic, but still very minuscule little flap of skin or something right there that often gets nicked or cut. So I have to be mindful of that. There's a little something here too. Maybe that's just a little bit of jowls or something. I'm not sure. Oh, I did get myself right there. You see it there? I'm not too worried about it. Some cold water will probably close that up. All right, before I go on here, I'm going to go ahead and bring this down to setting number 3, which is about in the middle of the settings, and I'll be right back, and then we'll go against the grain. Okay, let's go against the grain now. I'll start in my neck this time. Well, I see I got blood on there. And I have a little weeper up here too. Oh, geez. This razor, I've noticed, will bite me even on the lower number 3 setting. I've got to be careful. And this is kind of a contemporary copy of an old razor that's hard to find. I can't remember the brand name of it now. I like to use this razor when I'm using one of the shaving soaps. And there seem to be, I don't know, 2 or 3 of them that are inspired by Pink Floyd albums, and this being called the Final Cut, well, that was also the name of a Pink Floyd album, the last one with Roger Waters, excuse me. And this soap continues to have a very nice scent. Fleur de France, which means flower of France, that is, yeah, that's very nice. It's a fitting name for it. It kind of smells, I guess, a little bit like you would expect. But I would say it smells more, well, it smells a little flowery, but more, oh, I don't know, more like a scented talc, powdery maybe. I think this could very easily be a unisex shaving soap. I really got myself there. Now I'm just spreading blood. I don't think I'm cutting myself more, although I could be. I'm not too worried about it. Stings a little, but not very much. I can barely feel it. And this is pass number 3 against the grain. Let me rinse the razor, that is. Continuing here. Yeah, you have to, it seems like, I don't know, I haven't gone below the number 3 setting, I don't think. But it seems like on at least 3, 4, 5, whatever I've used before, seems like you have to be very careful with this razor, which maybe I'm not being. Maybe I'm going too fast here, but let the weight of this razor especially do all the work if you can, because it'll bite you at medium settings or above. But I don't know for sure about the lower settings. Okay. Boy, I still got that weeper down there. Anyway, I'll be right back for pickups. Well, what time is it, Sarge? It's pickup time, Sarge. Pickup time, you know? It's pickup time. Or touch-ups. Touch-up time. Sarge is very excited about that. Okay, buddy, you've been a good sport. I'll let you out again. Go on. I know you don't like being cooped up in here. Okay, pickup time, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see. Still on the number 3 setting right now. I'll probably keep it that way for the rest of the shave. First 2 passes were on the number 4 setting. Okay. I'll be glad to rinse my face off and in some cold water and hopefully get rid of these weepers. And I guess I do have 2 spots here kind of by where jowls are starting to be or something, but this one over here is the one I get most often, or the one that gets me, depending on how you look at it. I'm going to rinse the razor and go over my neck real quick again. I'll probably cut the rinsing out, but this razor, maybe because I got a good lather, which was pretty easy to do with this soap. Excuse me. The rinsing is going quick. There's not gunk in the razor when I rinse. Although I tend to rinse a little extra long just to be sure. It's the OCD in me, well, I don't mean to make fun of that. That's a horrible thing to have, but I have had some obsessive compulsive disorder periodically in the past. Sometimes it was worse than other times, and I still have shades of it, I'm afraid. Okay, wow. There might be just one little thing over here if I want to gild the lily a little bit. Let's see. Oh, that's a lot better. Yeah, we're looking at a BBS shave here, folks. And I'll be right back with Mr. Towel. Say hello to our good friend, Mr. Towel. Oof. I rinse my face extra long in cold water. I always use cold water, or almost always use cold water to rinse. Oh, sorry, trying to make sure it's dry up around my eyelids. Let's see. I think for the most part, I think I got the weepers. I hope so. Seems okay now. Sometimes they'll open up again later. I've had them open up not until I went to bed, and then I'll wake up with little specks of blood on the pillow. Okay, let's see. Well, I'll start a brief recap, and then I'll put the finishing touches on the shave. All right, it's recap time. I started out off camera. I prepped my face with Taylor of Old Bond Street chamomile shave oil right there. And my razor has been this 2-piece adjustable Yaqi, the Final Cut razor. I started out on the number 4 setting. That's 4 out of 6. And then after the second pass, beginning the third pass, and for pickups, I dialed it down to number 3. And that razor on 3 or 4 or above, it seems like it bites me every time. I don't know. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. The blade on its third use was a London Bridge blade. That's what a tuck of those looks like. My soap, I'm very pleased with this. This might be my favorite of the Seaforth soaps so far. The Fleur de France. Very nice. Kind of a powdery scent, and 3, as it builds, possibly 4 out of 10% strength, and a lovely, kind of a powdery scent. All right, and one more thing, my brush has been this Simpson T3, the Trafalgar T3 brush with the Sovereign synthetic knot. So got that, and I'll reach over here now for some of this T.N. Dickinson's Witch Hazel and apply some of that. Okay. And as I am wont to tell you, this stuff is 14% alcohol by volume, so there could be some sting. I shaved pretty close too. Yeah, so besides being witch hazel, this acts as a mild astringent, and there's a sting, but I guess you could say it's a good kind of sting, if that makes sense. A good feeling sting. Not at all like if you put pure alcohol on your face, or even the alcohol aftershaves. Most, but not all aftershaves seem to have alcohol in them more than this has in it. But that's the T.N. Dickinson's Witch Hazel. Next, I'm going to reach over for something I kind of assume this has alcohol in it, and I couldn't find on their website. I couldn't find a matching aftershave by Seaforth for their Fleur de France soap. So I have some of this. It's the Royal Copenhagen aftershave. I'll shake that up a little bit. Take the cap off. I had the cap on there kind of tight. Oh, you got to be careful with this. That restrictor is pretty wide, it looks like. So be careful so you don't spill the whole thing on the floor, as I'm apt to, or want to do, liable to do. Yeah, I still poured quite a bit of it in my hands. Get it going in the hands and on the wrists, up behind the ears, all over back there, all over up on the temples. Put a goodly amount on the back of the neck, and here we go on the face and neck. Ooh, yeah. A lot of sting for me, because I shaved very close and got some weepers. But again, I think because I had that little bit of sting, firstly from the witch hazel, I think that the sting on this ended up not being as bad as it could be. Otherwise, I might be hopping around, hooping and hollering and screaming. But this goes very well with that soap. It's not an exact match, but the Royal Copenhagen aftershave. And I'm getting, again, kind of a similar but a little bit different powdery blue scent to this. I guess it's almost like somebody added fancy talc or something to aqua velva or something. But anyway, there it is. Finally, let me finish up here. How am I doing on time? Doing pretty good, all things considering. And I'm going to reach for this Nivea Men Protect and Care aftershave balm right there in the clear bottle, but it's a white balm. So it's kind of reminds me of their normal white bottles that most of their aftershave comes in, or aftershave balm, I should say. Nivea. This is the Protect and Care. I have some of their Protect and Care. Whoa. That's more than enough right there. I have some of their Protect and Care shaving cream in a tube. And I need to get some more of their, there's like a pre-shave, which can also be used to shave with. And I have some of their, let's see, well, I have several of their balms. Anyway, I gotta get going here. Lightly scented balm that does not match but does not clash with the soap and aftershave we've used. I kind of wish that I had a talky a powdery scented balm to go with that soap and aftershave. But anyway, I smell very nice and not too effeminate. I wouldn't say it's an effeminate smell. It's a very gentlemanly smell. It's not a tough guy smell. You're not going to smell like you've been out in the woods or just came in from working on your car or something. But yeah, good overall. There it is again, the Nivea Men Protect and Care Aftershave Balm. And that's it, folks. On behalf of myself, Sarge the Cat, and Mr. Towel, have a great week. Be safe. Take care of you and your loved ones. May you all be safe. Peace out, and hopefully we'll see you. Well, we'll see you next time. No promises on when. Hopefully next week, but no promises. We will, God willing, see you again soon.